Dinosaur Pileup? Pinosaur Dial-Up? They have a new album out. I've listened to it. Have you? Dinosaur Pileup are an English alternative rock band from Leeds, formed in 2007. They have this new album out. It's 11/11. 11/11. Gareth, I know you've listened to a lot of their stuff before. You've been a fan for about a year or so now, so that's alright. About a year.
I started hearing them about the same time I started hearing Fiddler, which we talked about earlier. Our same friend showed me both of them.
Have you listened to Dinosaur Pileup before, James?
Saw him live.
Shit, then I'm the fucking...
I saw him live like not long ago at Festival.
This is the first time I've ever heard of them.
Really?
I feel so...
You've definitely heard their songs before because Little Kit used to play them around the house.
Well, the thing is, I talked to Little Kit about this. Like, he was playing a song.
Little Kit doesn't like them as much as I do.
No, but Little Kit is Little Kit, and he was like... I went to him, so these Dinosaur Pileup guys, are they any good? He went, nah, mate, they're shit. But I like them. And I went, okay, I can appreciate that.
That's how he thinks about everything he listens to.
Yeah, it's shit, but I like it. He likes his shit, what can I say? 11/11, the title track. Spelt with numbers.
Instead of letters.
Which the album is spelt with letters. Using words. First things first.
I'm ready for the two words that's going to describe this perfectly.
Royal blood.
Rock.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is just cock rock. It's just the
It
purest cock rock, and it's pretty cool cock rock. I was like, it's kind of, but it's just cock rock.
You know the kings of cock rock are Royal Blood, yeah?
Yeah, I like Royal Blood, but yeah,
I like them as well. This album sounded so much like them.
the first song definitely did.
And do you know why?
Definitely did.
It's produced by the same guy who produced Royal Blood up, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah, that's
Dropping
cool.
some knowledge.
What's his name?
Sonic Squeeze. Tom something?
Well, we're not asking you again.
I was going to write it. No, you know what? I couldn't pronounce his last name and I wasn't brave enough to write it down. So I remember it was just Tom something.
Tom's good enough. Tom. Tom.
I thought that this was one of the best on the album.
Yeah, I'll go on that.
Just because
What with 11?
it sounded different
Oh, okay.
throughout the song. Everything, there was a lot of variety going on in the song. Big cock rock riff. Second verse was different to the freaking
That is
first
the thing I was going to
verse.
say. Like, it was just cock rock, but I think it was good cock
It was
rock.
good, yeah, it was good.
It
Pulled off
was
pretty
good cock rock.
well. Cock.
Rock.
I think it was a little more playful than the Royal Blood songs. Royal Blood go a bit kind of like...
Yeah, a bit deep.
Yeah. But it's a bit more playful, a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about 11/11?
Red and purple.
Did it have a synth in it? Not red and purple.
I don't know.
11.
I don't believe so.
But red and purple.
But red and purple.
I really like this guy Matt Bigland's voice.
Yes.
Actually, it reminds me a lot of Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins voice. Like, a lot.
There was a couple of songs on here which sound incredibly Smashing Pumpkins. I got a surprising amount of songs on here where I was like,
Sounds like that.
it
Sounds like that.
There's also a lot in here, something I noticed when I watched him live, and I think is definitely something that he very much thinks of and tries to do. There's quite a few sort of Nirvana-ish influences.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got a lot of that as well.
And when I saw him live, one of the things I said to my friend was, he really wants to be Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
He has
He has a
sort of
blonde
similar
hair as well,
blonde hair,
yeah.
and he very much, when he's on stage, he looks like he's trying to be him, and he does it decently.
Yeah.
He pulls it off decently. I really like the guitar sounds a lot on this album as well. They're quite fit, and they're not too like interesting. They're not like sort of Jack White guitar sounds where you're like, what is this sound? It's super cool. It's just like they're good, heavy, distorted guitar sounds, and I'm just like, yeah,
I think that
it's nice.
they kind of go through the default cock rock formula a lot though.
Yeah. I got along with that.
And in this song,
They are very riffy, yeah.
nothing stood out except the break just before the final chorus and during the outro,
Yeah.
which was pretty much Rage Against the Machine.
Yes. I also saw a sort of very ragey sound on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That break was very Rage.
There was a couple,
and
of
there were a
ragey
couple of
sounds
songs on here which had a very Rage Against the
in it.
Machine.
Yeah, I think the first song had a bit of it at points, had a bit of sort of ragey sound as well.
The weird thing about these guys is that I didn't, for some reason, I didn't expect them to be as heavy as they were.
That's funny because that's what James said when we saw him live. He was like, "Oh, I didn't expect him to be this heavy." Like, that's what a lot of people say about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of out of that sort of sort of genre of sort of rock styles, the sort of modern sort of punky stuff. It is the sort of, you get like the Royal Bloods and the Fiddlars and the what's it called, the horse one, pulled apart by horses. Those sort of ones. That's Kit's favourite, so I always need to mention them. But these are definitely the Dinosaur Pileup are the most
Little
poppy.
Kit, not this Kit.
The most poppy out of that sort of group of sort of punky things. They still have that sort of punky feel, but they do it in a very sort of accessible way.
Yeah. I'd love to go and see these guys in like a small club somewhere in a basement in London. That would be great.
Yeah.
Ideal thing.
Or like a decently sized tent at a festival in the Isle of Wight.
No, fuck you. Just 'cause you
Or
went.
indeed in a pub in
That's-
Portsmouth
that's-
during the festival known as Southsea
That's
Festival.
enough, gentlemen. Grim Valentine?
Didn't like it.
I liked this one.
The vocals annoyed me.
Really?
a lot.
I thought this was one of my
They were
favourites.
so
I really
moany.
liked this.
This song had a
So
nice structure, and I like the
Yeah.
vocal
It
melodies.
had a very Nirvana structure.
I
A
didn't
lot
think
of
the
this
riff
had-
was very good. I thought the backing vocals were particularly weak.
I thought the backing
the
vocals were
solo
about
was
right.
okay, but not great.
I like the tone of the guitar on the solo.
It just
The
felt
solo-
very monotone.
This is what I felt about the solo. It was nothing technically awesome, but it had a great attitude. It really set up the attitude
And
of
it
what the
sounded
song's
great.
meant to be about. It sounded awesome, but
Sounded
it wasn't anything
huge.
technically impressive. But I think this was very nice. It was one of the first ones I had a Nirvana vibe, where it's very much sort of like the soft and heavy mix sort of going
Yeah.
on with the sort of kind of abrupt transitions. I love the chorus in this. I thought it was really nice. Although
Yeah.
I agree the backing vocals were pretty off point.
It had the big
The-
fat riff, but the big fat riff wasn't really doing it for me.
When
in
the
this one.
bassist does the backing vocals, I'm not sure he's a very good singer.
The problem is the main vocals were too moany, and the backing vocals were too whiny. So when you're putting them together, it just makes it sound worse on both counts.
Miney. Sorry.
Miley sa-
You're no friend of mine. No, friend of
Friend
mine.
of
Next
mine.
This
song.
one, like I mentioned in the 5 Seconds Someone, was another one with very sort of fiddlery lyrics.
I got this. This had the Nirvana touch to it. Me.
He did have the Nirvana
Yeah?
touch song-wise,
Yeah.
but lyrics-wise, it was very much sort of like...
I thought the
drug
verse was
references.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was
The
kind of.
sort of softer part.
That's it. That's all I
It was
thought.
I thought it was just kind of sweet and easy listening. This one. It didn't go for that huge big fat riff, which is
Which they do a lot, yeah.
yeah. It went for that kind of nice little chord structure. Pretty sweet. Nothing personal. I wrote big loud
Yeah.
riff. Nothing special.
I like
vocally.
the guitar fuzz.
Yeah. I
But
liked...
the,
there was quite a bit of sort of radio-ish fuzzy stuff, like on his vocals, there was a bit of that sort of effect too, and I liked that, but I
The
think this was
variety
sort of-
within the track didn't seem to exist, and the guitar solo didn't really add enough to kind of
It was
add
pretty,
that variety.
It was a
So,
pretty filler track for me.
Yeah. Anxiety trip.
probably one of my favourites, if not my favourite. on the
Really?
album.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wrote.
Do you know why? Because it reminds me. In fact, this isn't the reason why, but the very start of it, it reminds me of the One Note song by Tenacious D, where it's like, "I told you to do the bending," because it's just like. That's what it is. It just has like a little bit of a bend.
I
in it.
liked the softer, chuggy bits earlier on. I liked that bit you're talking about. I liked
soft chugging.
that. But I thought the main overall bit of the song, like some of the bits where it got bigger, was pretty generic Dinosaur Pileup stuff that I'd heard before. And
I agree
Yeah, it's
with that, but I feel as though this was a lot more varied within the track. Like, the verse was very stripped back, and then it went into the cock rock chorus.
Yeah, it had
and the
that
chorus, again, it wasn't great, but it was, like, decent.
The vocals sounded particularly Billy Corgan-y in this one.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
And then when they go into the break at the end, they kind of slow the tempo down. And I thought that... nothing was, like, amazing, but it was different throughout the
But
song.
I feel like they do
and-
bits of that on a lot of the other songs, and I feel like on a lot of the other songs they just
I
do
don't
it
think they
better.
do. I thought that a lot of the other songs, as I've been saying for the last like 5 songs, they didn't really have much going for them in terms of variety throughout the track, and therefore having all of these features, which may have been in the track in the album up until this point, having it in
All
one,
in one
song,
song.
it actually kind of makes an alright,
I just
decent
thought it was a pretty
song.
boring song though, but it's not bad.
Might as well.
I don't know. Might as well.
This song was kick-ass.
It was
Fucking
very
love
much.
this song.
You've mentioned this before in another song that we did, "Wall of Sound," when like the heavy guitars sort of drop. It is just like boom, like a whole load of sound. It has the sort of Nirvana. The intro is very Nirvana. I feel like when he's singing in this one, he's very sort of Smashing Pumpkins. I had a bit of maybe Placebo later on. sort of sounding as well in his vocals. A bit of Soundgarden I thought I heard in here. I thought this was a really interesting song.
I thought the
really
chorus
liked
was one of the best in the album. The chorus fantastic. I think vocally he really shines in this song. I think the vocals are just fantastic.
it. This is an awesome.
I admire that it went down a different style to all of the other songs. It kind of took a new take on what the sound they were going for.
And I liked it.
But it didn't
more
really
than
grab
the
my
album style.
attention. Like, I like the fact that it was doing something different, and that you do need songs on an album which are doing something different, but I don't think as though it was doing that thing differently well.
I've noticed they do this thing on quite a lot of their songs where they'll go like really quiet, and they'll just break it down to like a little guitar on the vocals.
Very fast, like very sudden changes between them as well. Like it'll be dun, and they have a lot of the sort of like quiet stuff, dun, like both guitar and bass and drums, all dun, quiet bit, dun, like building in something. And I think I quite like.
Yeah, these that kind of juxtaposition to make it when it goes big, it goes really big.
The backing vocals were a lot better on this one though. A lot better, to the point where I actually liked them.
At the end of this song, when that chord rings out, hear the power in that distortion, man.
Yeah,
that's
it's really
insane. It's like crazy.
They have some big sounds.
Crazy good.
Gimme
It's a real face melter.
Something.
Gimme Something, I think, was probably the worst song on the album.
Yeah.
I think it was the most Nirvana song on the album.
I thought the riff was amazing in this one.
It was.
I thought the bass was really fuzzy.
I think they didn't have too much interesting a track. They're like, what there was decent.
I agree.
But I don't.
And
think
do
there
you
was
know
too much.
why I'm going to give this one a pass?
Why?
Because it was also very short.
It was pretty short, yeah.
It was under 3 minutes. I think it was like 2.5. They basically just went in, were like, we don't have that much going on, so we're just going to cut it.
Yeah,
and
which
that's
is good.
fine.
That's
I'm
the right way
alright
to
with
do
that.
it.
I couldn't
I'm
help
alright with
singing
that.
along to this one because it was the same. It had the same fucking melody as. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a man I can't. And he sings just like him as well. So it's I couldn't not think of it.
It was
Bad
alright.
Penny.
I don't think it was terrible.
One that I
think it was
couldn't help
great.
singing to was Bad Penny.
Did you like
I
that
thought
one?
it was really
This
good.
was... I found this really boring until they became Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
after the chorus.
Dude,
Yeah.
I actually had to. I was listening to this song and something happened. And I went, James, you got to come in here. Are you hearing what I'm hearing? And I pressed the play button, and he was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Am I right? It's Rage Against the Machine. That's a straight Rage Against the Machine song right there."
But the only bits which sound good are the bits where they're basically just ripping off Rage.
No, I enjoyed the chorus in this song. I wrote about the chorus in this song. It bumps in the whip.
I don't want to know what that means.
I agree with you. Yeah. But Gareth, yeah, good. Yeah, I like what you had to say on that one.
Crystalline.
With you on that one.
Crystalline, I think, was also really cool.
I don't like it.
I really liked Crystalline.
I don't think the vocals particularly, like the vocal melody went with, didn't particularly fit the guitar chords.
I didn't read the lyrics or pay that much attention to them. But what was the word crystalline? What did that have to do with anything?
Not much, I don't think.
It sounded like he read that word somewhere and then just wrote a song which had that word in it.
It's
Like,
a cool word.
Crystalline.
Do you know, I saw a interview with Tyler, the Creator, recently, and he was being asked about, like, so this song, it's called, like, Cherry Bomb. He's like, what does it have to do with anything? And Tyler would just sit there and go, I like the word. It looks really cool. And then they go, so this song, Death Camp, like, it doesn't really have much to do with dying or camps. And he went, I like the word. It looks really cool. Like, that was his answer for, like, every line. It's like, I just like the words, dude. I just put them in there. It's good.
I like the guitar solo in that song.
I thought the solo was okay, but the tone of the guitar was really nice.
Yeah.
I
think that, like,
the sound of the guitar.
I think it would be like unfair on the guys to put all like the praise on the producer with the guitar tones. Just the whole sound, like everything sounded great.
But he did a good job.
He did, but I don't want to say it was all him,
No.
even though it.
But I feel as
There's a
though
lot
that
to do
song, they kind of just went in and did a song. I don't think it was more than that. It kind of felt as though they went on autopilot for that song.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about Willow Tree then?
The thing that I hate the most about this is that I realised that at this point they're really not going away from verse, chorus, break, chorus. Are they?
I thought this song was pretty
I
good.
mean that
I hate this song.
that really made me think. You've been doing this throughout the whole album, haven't
I
you?
thought as well.
You've literally been doing verse, chorus, and then back to a verse, and then a chorus again, and then
a
you need to break it,
and then a chorus,
and then finish on a chorus, and you've literally done that in every single song. And this is the one where I was like, nothing is standing out other than the fact that you're using a really generic structure.
Killed this song the most as well is that for DPU, compared to every other song on this album, it had by far the weakest chorus. There was nothing like catchy or interesting about it. I just thought that like the point where they're normally really good is where they're sort of big and loud and catchy and chorusy. It didn't work on this song, and so like the rest of it.
I only like the intro, and I didn't even think that was that great.
The intro was alright.
The problem for me is that the lyrics weren't good enough to warrant that much repetition. Why do I have to keep saying it? Yeah. Something about letting a willow tree grow over me. He said that a lot.
Yeah, I thought
that it was,
Whoa, now.
Didn't like it.
I thought the lyrics were also pretty weak in the last song, Cross My Heart.
And
it was more uplifting than the rest of the album. Oh, it was a bonus track, so you wouldn't have written about it. So let's keep it quick. It was more uplifting than the rest of the album, which is probably why it wasn't in there, because it doesn't really fit with the rest of the album, and it was pretty meh.
I thought it was a little more heartfelt. It's quite different from the rest of the album,
yeah. Overall,
favourite songs, people? James?
11-11 and Anxiety Trip.
Okay. I went for, might as well, Red and Purple.
Okay. I went for Grim Valentine, Crystalline.
Ooh, shit! Okay, that's interesting.
Well, thanks again for tuning in to another episode.
What are we up with the ratings?
They don't need the ratings. They're smart enough to work it out for themselves.
Scores, kid. What score would you give it?
What score would I get? Oh, interesting.
You never start.
You've
so
taken
you
the.
this time.
I get a 6 out of 10. That felt good. James, what do you get?
It's either a 5 or a 6. And I feel as though I've been very generous giving a 10 this week. I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to be a dick.
Okay.
Well, I really like this album. It's a strong 6.
Okay.
I really enjoy it.
Let me give you a crossed fist bump here. I feel like we've agreed more on everything, like more closely this week. And that's all from us here at the Sonic Squeeze. Thanks for tuning in. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see some more. Goodbye, guys.
Au revoir.
Put an owl there.
Where?
There.
Why?
Because I want it.
Fuck. Why not? Goodbye. Look at this fucking dude! Look at this fucking... Ah! Fuck you!